Hi, sorry the video cut off again. One of my highlights, as I said, was going to the Coochie tunnels, and it was amazing to see how they lived and seeing all of the kitchens and where they made their metal works and stuff for their weapons. And so it was absolutely amazing. When we were in Saigon, it was also amazing because we were allowed to go see Ho Chi Minh's body. And the security to go inside and see his body was higher than any airport I've been to in the past 3.5 months. But it was absolutely amazing um, to see it, just because he was such a powerful and influential man in Vietnam. So that was really interesting to see. And when we were in Hoi An, the tour group and I, Hoi An is in the middle of Vietnam, and it's also the main center, no pun intended, it's in the center of Vietnam. It's the main center to go and get all of your custom couture clothing, and they make everything there. You can get shoes copied and made, shirts, dress coats, absolutely anything you need. And when we were there, we did a cycling tour. So our tour group, we were all on bicycles, and we went through the area around Hoi An and also through the streets of Hoi An. And it was absolutely beautiful. And actually, one of the things I've never done before was on the cycling tour was when I rode a water buffalo. And it was like being on a great big barrel-bellied horse with horns. And because it was such a gentle creature, and it was lots of fun because we went into a shallow little pond, and the buffalo kept whipping me with its tail. I'm like, I'm so wet now. I went in perfectly dry, and I came out half soaked. So it was all good. And another thing I've never done before was getting my nails done. It was lots of fun to just spoil myself a bit, and I got my nails done in Brazil colors for FIFA because I was so hoping that Brazil would win, and they didn't. And then I was all really sad about that. But it was also a nice bonding experience with my mom. The ladies who did it were really nice and everything. And also my favorite food in Vietnam was the pho, or pho, or pho. My Vietnamese friend always makes fun of me for how I pronounce it, so I just say soup. And it was so good. I ate so much. I got out pho'd within a matter of days, because it was just too good to resist. Everywhere I'd go, I'd say, could I have a beef pho, please? Could I have a chicken pho, please? And it was good. I think I've eaten more than my Vietnamese friend, so that's a great accomplishment for me. In Cambodia, moving on to Cambodia now, I learned about the difficulty of life with the UXOs, or unexploded ordnance, and the landmines that are absolutely everywhere in the rural areas, making it difficult to make roads for people to live, for people to farm. And so that was really sad to see. And I also learned about the extreme poverty in Cambodia. Everybody's, like, for example, children, they go to school, but they won't get their proper marks unless they pay the teacher money. And since the students don't have a lot of money in the first place, it's really difficult for the teachers to get a lot of money either. They're all so poor, but they're also some of the kindest people that you will ever meet. They're so kind, and they just want to do everything the best they can. They do everything the best they can, and they're helpful in every way possible. And some of my highlights in Cambodia were seeing Angkor Wat. the most amazing structure, one of the most amazing, not quite the most amazing, but one of the most amazing structures in the world. It was absolutely ginormous. So it was amazing to go see that, and I also did my history of Angkor Wat video, which you guys have. It was also amazing. Our tour guide was Cambodian, and it was amazing to meet his family and visit his home. Their homes are basically on stilts, maybe 10 feet or 15 feet above the ground. But below the houses where they have all their stuff, they'll have maybe a few hammocks, any food that they have. If they're wealthy, they'll have a separate kitchen, maybe an outhouse. If you have an outhouse, you're like middle to upper class. And then in the actual house, going up the stairs, there's nothing. There's a wardrobe with some clothes, one picture on the walls, and a mirror, and that's it. They have nothing, but they're the most amazing and the kindest people ever. And so that was amazing for me to be able to meet the tour guide's family, because he was really kind. And that was really cool. And then also, when we went to Angkor Thom, the main temple in Siem Reap, there we saw maybe 200 wild monkeys. They were everywhere, and it was pretty scary actually, because they can be quite violent, but it was also amazing because we saw so many of them just with like babies riding on their mothers' backs and everything. So it was really amazing to see so many, and I'd never seen a monkey before, and they were all wild. So they were just running around chasing people for money and food. Well, not money, but if they could figure out money, they would have been chasing them for money. So it was really fun and funny to see as well. And I was pretty brave in Cambodia. I ate 2 crickets, which were actually really yummy. I'll send you guys pictures. And a tarantula, which was way yummier than the crickets. And I was also quite terrified, because when we went to go to the little side stand on the road, they had their fried tarantulas on a plate. You lifted the plate off of the bucket, and there were 30 live tarantulas there. And that scared me so much, because I am terrified of spiders. So I got a sense of justice with eating them. I'm like, one less spider. And I also tried duck, which was really interesting. I've never had duck before, and it was very interesting to see, because you go around and you'll see just a full duck just hanging from a post. So it was really yummy. And my favorite food in Cambodia was curry. I had a lot of curry in Cambodia, and it was really, really yummy. Now, on to Thailand. I learned the history of Thailand, which was really amazing to like go around and see everything when we were in Bangkok. I also learned to rarely trust tuk-tuk drivers. And tuk-tuk drivers are everywhere, but the unfortunate thing is they tend to be lots of jewelry scams. So they'll take you into the shopping areas and say, oh, it's good if you buy this jewelry cheap because it's good quality and everything. But even if you say no shopping and just take me where, they will, most of them will, from what we took, will take you to go shopping. So, and also you can say a price, and once you get to the place, they'll be like, no, give me more. And I also learned that Bangkok is generally referred to as the Venice of Asia, because it has a lot of canals going off the main river, which were absolutely beautiful. And it was actually one of my highlights, which was the canals tour of Bangkok, which you guys also saw in a video. I also love Koh San Road. Koh San Road was so amazing. It's the backpackers hub, and everything that you could ever think to buy, you can buy on Koh San Road. And I was amazing. I became the best person in the world at bargaining. I was actually really scared to come back home to barter because I would go to a store and they would say, that comes to a total of $10.50, and I'd be like, no, $8. That's my final price. So, but it was lots of fun to be able to go around and see and smell everything and hear everything. And it was also one of my highlights was eating a grasshopper, a street grasshopper that I bought from the streets, and also I tried scorpion. I wasn't too big of a fan of the scorpion. The legs and the tail were fine, but the body tasted really weird, and I'm sure you guys are just in love with the fact that I'm going into details on the tastings of scorpions. A couple things I've never done before. I've never bought street vended food the whole time that we were in Asia, and I was really glad I did. It was so amazing. And it was amazing to see so many different live performers, and practically every restaurant or bar you walked by, there would be a different live performer in there, and seeing them on the streets and everything, so that was lots of fun. And my favorite food in Bangkok was the street vended pad thai. It was to die for, and it cost maybe $3 to get a huge plate full of food, and it was possibly one of the best things I've ever bought in my life, so I was really proud of my purchase. Now, off to Europe and off to Greece. I learned a lot about the history and architecture there, and there's a lot to learn about the history and architecture, like at the Acropolis, my Acropolis video, and going to ancient Olympia and learning about the history there. I also learned that in Greece, a couple years ago, the government came out with a campaign that every single stray animal in Greece is properly